Get ready to spit hot fire. The Hellblasters are here.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Rob Baer with you again today, checking out the new multi-part Hellblaster squad for Primaris Space Marines. Now, this also is $60 US. New release this week, comes with 10 models. You can equip them one of three different ways. You can have the heavy, the normal Primaris plasma guns right here, and then also the assault variations. So the stuff we saw in the Dark Imperium box, I think that was just your normal run-of-the-mill plasma rifle, or plasma incinerator. Now we got the assault variants, we got the heavy variants, all sorts of stuff coming into play here. You got dudes with bionics, dudes with eyeballs missing. Obviously, there's some parts in here that suggest that there's been a few accidents out there. Maybe Baller Sirius and his tech marines and his development didn't quite make these as safe as possible, or I suppose, given the rules, they just pressed their luck a little too much. Now, overall, this is a 250 component kit right here, again, with options to make whatever variant of the plasma rifle that you want. Comes with some bolt pistols, some plasma pistols, a pretty decent mix of cool looking heads and poses here. You can see, remember, the sergeant can take, well, everybody gets a bolt pistol, but the sergeant can also take a plasma, or upgrade it to free for a plasma pistol. So you can have these guys holding, their plasma rifle up, or you can have, holding it by the handle and gadding with either their bolt pistol or the plasma pistol, depending on how you want to do it. So it's a neat little kit. I was really intrigued. I was like, how did they fit all that stuff in here and still have space and et cetera, et cetera. So instruction manual, 4 Spurs, 2 of them, just like we saw with the Intercessors, are going to be exactly the same. You got a bag of bases and, of course, the world famous Ultramarine Infantry decal transfer sheet. We're not really going to look at that. That's kind of meh at this point. But we are going to take a look first at the instruction manual, because that's going to tell us all the secrets of the new kit right here. So here they are, the heavies, the assaults, and just the normal run-of-the-mill plasma incinerators with the little handy-dandy, easy-to-carry handle up there. So we all know the Hellblaster, since we saw it in like last month's White Dwarf, had that dope power cabling and such. Really cool how it goes together, and we'll show you that here in a second. So starting off, all of them are going to go together the same. You got the left and right legs. You've got the front and half sets of the torso, so they are a little bit more involved than standard tactical Marines to put together. But they don't have that extra piece on the front, which is kind of cool as well. So it saves you a little bit of time there. And there you go. There's all your poses. Now it comes to the interchangeable parts time. And you can switch in this instruction manual. You can go from the heavy plasma to the assault plasma to just the normal plasma right there, right? So here are the the interchangeable lineup of parts, which is just going to be the arm, left and right, hold the arms, the stock itself, and then you're going to switch it out. Of course, this one's going to have some wiring and such, but on the front end, you're going to switch it out, and you're going to use whatever, you can use whatever front you want. There's 2 different ones. There's one with like an underslung kind of sight type deal, and one with just the little plasma canister right there. So they're all going to go together the same way, and then of course you can add whatever else you want. Now there is a different cabling option right there if you want to use the arm that is holding the plasma rifle up, okay? And then there's all sorts of different weapon options, options as far as like purity seals go, and tabards, and the bolt pistols, the armor plate, the ammo pouches, grenades, all that little stuff, all that just little stuff that you put on last is all in there. Then you jump to the front. This is the assault plasma incinerators. What makes these different is they have a different front here with a little sensor. Maybe it's a flashlight underneath it. It's really hard to tell at this point, but they're going to have different arm combination at the back. And this handled stock, which is going to be the same. So 50, 50, 51, 49. So you're using the same arms, they just don't have the cabling. Now what is different is if you look close, they have those targeters on the top of them right there. So those look pretty fresh, and you can see it. Let's see. I know it's hard to see in the diagram. Let me see if there's one on here. So here, right here, you can see it. That is what it looks like, a little over the top kind of diagram type thing right there, right? So that's pretty cool to see. Okay, so then fast forward to just your plain Jane version of the Hellblaster, right? And that is the same exact thing. You've got the same exact amount of arms. Remember, if you're going to have the weapon up in the air or something like that, that is a different power cable if you're using that, or you could just use it sans the power cable, of course, right here. And it's the same front end with that little sensor or flashlight or whatever you want to call it, and just the same normal stock with nothing on top of it. So there it is. 3 different ways to make 3 different types of weapons, and then of course you can customize them out from there, depending exactly what you want to do. Like right here, if you want to have them holding the gun, you know, have them pointing the pistol, and all of that stuff. Very, very interesting, very forward-thinking on Games Workshop's part. This kit here, I really dig how it kind of went together. Now, before we jump into the rules, let's take a look at the actual sprues. So zoom in on this bad boy. And there we go. So here you can see you've got a lot of the cabling, the backpacks, of course. Remember, here's your arm up in the air. Here's just the normal plasma arms. There's either your bolt pistol or your plasma pistol right up there. Very cool looking stuff. You got some ammo pouches and holsters. Here's your pointy finger and just your normal torsos right over here. And then here's those sensors I was showing you. You can almost see it's just got a single like kind of macro lens right there on the front. So very almost hard to see because it's on the same plane as the sprue, but it's there and it looks pretty dope. And so that's your sprue 1. That's going to also contain your backs. And now your backs are kind of, it's weird how they do the legs. Like some of them have all of them have part of the hips and stuff right down there. So you're going to put the front on, but the front is actually going to lock into the hip assembly right there. And then there's a specific set of legs left and right that goes onto it. So with the Tactical Marines, you attach one part, which is like the groin area, the hip, and the legs themselves, whereas this one is kind of similar, but that is also still attached to kind of the torso there. So it might throw a couple of people, but for the most part, it is going to be very familiar to a lot of us there. Now here's the other sprue, which is going to have a whole ton of shoulder pads, a whole ton of heads. Actually, not as many heads as I thought. So you're looking at it's 9 heads, so 18 different heads. Now some of them are, let's see, I'll show it to you this way. Some of them you can tell there's a little bit of plasma damage and stuff on their face. There's some crazy bionics and stuff kind of showing that maybe they sustained a little bit of damage using their weapon, pressing their look. Squeezing down on that trigger a little too hard, I suppose, and overcharging it. And then here you can see the different options as far as ammo canisters go on the back of the gun. If you want, you can do that. And then here are the options for the front, and then the little scopes on the front right here as well. So those are going to be your one variety. This is going to be your other variety. And then when it comes to the shoulder pads, again, remember those are the same size as the Tactical Squad, so you can put your icons on there, any 3D rendered stuff you want to pick up from Shapeways, those you can throw them all on there, of course. The heads, same exact size as the normal Tactical Squad heads, so you can put all your upgrade heads and things on there as well. So it's a little bit more universally kind of interchangeable than what you would expect, I suppose, from trying to port over the old stuff to the new stuff there. Now, as far as rules go, let's take a look at that. You've got the little data sheet right here, of course, which is great if you want to cut this out and use this on the tabletop to play with. So you got 3 different ways you can equip them. We just showed you right there, the normal plasma incinerator, the heavy plasma incinerator, the assault plasma incinerator. You can upgrade to a plasma pistol. As far as points go, they're actually cheaper than the normal intercessor, right? Which kind of makes sense because you're going to spend so many points on their freaking weapons that these guys do get a little pricey, a little quick. So your bolt pistol is 0, which is fortunate because they all come with it and have to have it, right? And we're checking out the new Space Marine Codex for 8th edition right there if you're wondering where the rules are coming from. As far as the guns themselves, the assault plasma incinerator is 16, the heavy is 15, and the normal one is the heavy is 17 and the normal one is 15 points right there. They are 18 points each, down from 20 from the normal intercessors. But again, you're spending a lot on these freaking upgrade guns, 100% for sure. And then if you want to take a plasma pistol, that's 7 points for your Sergeant Mans, and he is the only one that can upgrade his bolt pistol to that. Now let's take a look at how good the actual plasma weaponry is. So you can see right there, the Assault Plasma Incinerator, of course, is the standard profile, normally 6 neg4, 1 damage. But if you supercharge it, 7 neg4, 2 damage. Now these are Assault 2, 24-inch range. On a roll 1, the Baer is slain after all weapon shots have been resolved. So not immediately slain and the shots go away. No, the shots still get resolved. Now on the heavy, it's just on a hit of 1, the Baer is slain. So those shots don't get resolved from what I'm reading right there. However, that is going to get you up to that strength 9, which is going to be good enough to wound a lot of things that are toughness 4 on, or possibly, toughness 8 stuff on a 3, which is kind of why you might want to overcharge it if you're going up against vehicles. But that being said, there is imminent danger because your shots might not even count if you roll that 1. However, if you're taking HQ choices, there's ways to reroll that, etc., etc. But just remember that modifiers are applied after your dice roll, so those 2s that you end up with are actually 1s, and that could be bad for you if you don't have a further way to alter or augment that result right there. And as far as the Plasma Incinerators, its shots do count on a 1, and that will get you on an overcharge up to the strength 8. So be wounding in kind, heavy vehicles on a 4, light vehicles on a 3, vice versa a little bit with the standard strength 7 right there. You're going to be hitting or wounding your light vehicles on a 4, wounding your heavy vehicles on a 5. So that might be worth, you got to always decide if the juice is worth the squeeze right there when it comes to figuring out what to do with these guys. So that's the rules for them. We covered the 3 different weapon options. We covered all of the cool upgrade parts here where they're holding their weapons, all of the crazy plasma burn and plasma damage options for these guys. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. We talked tactics, we talked models. It's been a good day in the CAT Command Center here, talking about both new sets. And of course, we've got the Grey Knight book breakdown and the Chaos Space Marine breakdown coming up next, already on the channel for you all, so stick around for that and make sure you check that one out. Of course, drop us subscribe, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on our videos, and head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the 8th edition battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.